Hey there everyone, my name is Brendan, aka Cliff Jumper, and welcome to the Boulevard of Broken Cars. Yes, our beloved Joan Jetta has finally given up the ghost with her original 241,000 mile clutch. Yesterday, the magic smoke came lifting out as the clutch breathed its last, and that means that we've got project coming up on us. She's been driving great. No major issues other than an oil leak that we just dealt with, and that was fairly stupid, and we were able to handle that along with an oil change. But she's gonna sit for a while. We're gonna come back to her because we have other projects that need to be taken care of first. But yeah, I have not done a front wheel drive clutch in a very long time. I don't envy doing it on my back in the yard on jack stands, but I think that might be what we're gonna do. So leave me a comment, let me know, do you think we should do this ourselves? Deal with the clutch and many other little things that need to be done on a 241,000 mile Jetta? Or should I phone a friend and let somebody else come in and have fun with this? Let me know. Continuing with the 1.8 turbo Jetta and the many leaks that it has had. So here's where we're picking up today. This is a coolant hose connector, which is pretty common. They use them in a few different spots around here, most notably at the heater core, both at the top and the bottom where it connects to the heater core and where it connects to the turbo. And there's I don't know why Volkswagen did this. There are these connectors that just add one more point of failure in the system. Inside it is an O-ring that is supposed to seal with the hard connector rather than just have the rubber hose go onto the hard connector and seal with a hose clamp. They added one more thing in between that could potentially leak, and in this car it is absolutely leaking at both of those connectors down there by the turbo. So I'm replacing them with new connectors that have new O-rings that should seal. Now the trick with them is you may notice there are notches on the inside of this mounting ring, and they are slightly different size. One is a little bigger than the other one. So they can only go on in a specific orientation when you're connecting it. Now, you may have discovered in the process of trying to remove it, you have to disconnect this clip, slide it out, try not to lose it because they go flying off into wherever they want to go and get lost really easily. But once you release that, you should be able to pull it off of the connector fairly easily. Putting it back on, though, you need to make sure that it's actually oriented correctly, and then it'll snap in place and you're good to go. If you're doing it like I'm having to do it blind, back behind the motor, you just have to twist it around until it slides on there. It'll snap, and then you can squeeze the clip, which will hold it in place, and it should be good to go. I hope these are the last two places where we are having leaking coolant in this motor. So we're putting those new ones on. We'll snap them in place, refill the system with coolant, warm it up. We have also replaced the power block on top of the battery. We put a new fan controller in. There's a new thermostatic fan switch. There is a new pressure switch for the AC system. Not that I think there is actually any pressure in the AC system whatsoever right now. I'm pretty sure that when the other mechanic replaced the motor, he vacuumed out all of the refrigerant and did not replace it. So I'm not counting on the AC system working at all. What I'm hoping is that after all of this, the radiator fans will actually kick on when they're supposed to when it comes up to temperature. If that is the case, then at least the car will be drivable. My son can take it to work and we can go on and do life as usual, and that'll be a very good thing. Anyway, we're gonna snap those in place and see if that solves the immediate issue of the coolant leaking out. So hopefully that does it. So I've got these hoses clamped off so that I don't lose any more coolant than I absolutely have to, but it has to go back into place in a spot I can't see anything, so this is all by feel. using the force to get it back where it needs to go, orient it correctly, and then once it is oriented, it should be able to just slide down where it belongs, and that's the theory. I'm gonna go ahead and take my watch off and not crush it while I'm working on stuff back there. I've got it, I think I've got it oriented where it is supposed to go. I think we're good. And I have a positive lock on the clip, so that one should be good. Now we need to do the same thing with this one. So I need to add the the connector in the right orientation. Let me see if I can figure out what orientation it wants to be in before I hose clamp it onto the hose. So I've got the rough orientation of where it's going to want to sit. Take our really annoying German hose clamp pliers. Open this. Okay, really annoying hose clamp back in place. The clip is open. We should be able to orient this back to its home. Slide it back in place and lock. Okay, we've got a positive lock. Remove these pinchy hose clamps from the various spots I have put them. So back behind there, that is where these hose clamps are that we were dealing with. Back by the turbo. Super annoying. Gotta get to them blind. So I think we're at a spot now we can add coolant, fire it up, and see if we've got success. Filled it up a little past the fill mark. We're gonna fire up the motor, let the water run through, get the air bubbles burped out, probably fill it a little bit more. And of course, look for leaks all over the place because hopefully we've resolved those. Gonna check around the motor, look for evidence of any leaking where we had done some work and replaced these connectors. So hopefully they stay dry. Now, we did have a big coolant leak. That's all from when I was changing the heater core hose connectors that all leaked out there. So that's not related to what we just fixed. What we're going to be looking for now, I've moved the vehicle, we're letting the motor run, warm up, and we're going to be checking for active leaks in its current condition and waiting for the motor to come up to temperature. We're running the heater. We are waiting for the thermostat to open, getting all the air out of the system so that we can put the cap on and pressurize it fully and check for leaks. I can also put on, I've got one of those radiator testers. We used that in a previous video, and I can pressurize the system with the car off to look for leaks. But it's not the same as when it's all up to temperature. We want to look for those leaks. So that's what we're looking for right now, just keeping an eye on it.
20 minutes later.
Trial by fire, we're going to send my son to go drive the car and see if it survives. But we've been testing it, we've been running it for about a half hour. There are no leaks underneath. So I'm thinking at least the radiator portion of this is worked out. Whether the fans come on or not is a whole different subject. So he's gonna go run it, get it on the freeway, get it up to temperature, and then we'll see if the fans work. And if they don't, at this point, I'm gonna phone a friend. We'll take it to our partners at Pure Motorsport Partners. I'm a patron of theirs. They're a good shop. So anyway, yeah, I'm not sponsored by them or anything. Actually, I pay them a good amount of money to do things that either I can't or don't want to do. And at this point, I've done everything that I can think of to trace the radiator fans. So we're going to maybe turn it over to them and let them take it away to see if they can figure out why the fans aren't coming on. It's probably something incredibly stupid, but they might be working after what we've done. So we shall see. And as always, if you find our content at least mildly entertaining, please go ahead and hit a like, subscribe, tune in to find out what actually happens with this car and the other projects we're doing. And let us know in the comments, what projects are you working on? See you soon. Bye-bye.
And on that terrible disappointment, it's time to say goodbye. We'll be back.